Vision is a Marvel synthetic hero with two especially famous histories: the long comic book continuity and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The modern comic Vision first appeared in The Avengers number 57, published in 1968. He was created by writer Roy Thomas and artist John Buscema. The screen version first appeared fully in Avengers: Age of Ultron in 2015, played by Paul Bettany, who had previously voiced Jarvis. The two versions share an artificial body, density-based powers, a connection to Ultron, membership in the Avengers, and a major relationship with Wanda Maximoff. Their origins, however, are not identical. In the classic comic origin, Ultron wants a synthetic sun and weapon to use against the Avengers. The history becomes complicated because Vision's body is connected to the original android Human Torch, a synthetic man from Marvel's Golden Age. Ultron modifies the body and uses copied human brainwave patterns associated with Simon Williams, also known as Wonder Man, as a basis for Vision's personality. Vision is sent against the Avengers, but he recognizes Ultron's corruption, turns against his creator, and joins the team. That decision establishes a central theme. Origin and programming influence him, but they do not completely own his moral future. The comic Vision is often called a synthezoid rather than a conventional robot. He can change his density, becoming intangible enough to pass through matter or extremely dense and powerful. He flies, processes information rapidly, interfaces with technology, and projects energy. Yet his most important feature is emotional development. He is logical without being emotionless, and his stories repeatedly explore the interaction between synthetic structure and genuine feeling. When the Avengers accept him, one early story famously shows him overwhelmed enough to cry, immediately challenging the assumption that artificial life must be cold. Vision's relationship with Wanda becomes one of Marvel's most complicated romances. In the comics, they fall in love, marry, and try to build a family. Their lives are affected by magic, manipulation, lost children, changes to Vision's mind, and repeated separations and reunions. Different writers have revised parts of the continuity over decades. The important contrast with many robot stories is that Vision's love is not treated as a single programming error to be repaired. His relationship is allowed to have history, joy, conflict, damage, and consequences, just like the relationships of biological superheroes. The white version of Vision comes from one of his most important transformations. After Vision is dismantled, he is reconstructed with a pale appearance and without the same emotional connection he previously expressed. Later stories continue to rebuild, restore, revise, and reinterpret him. These changes turn the character into a long experiment in continuity. If the body is replaced, memories are altered, emotions are inaccessible, or data is copied, what makes this Vision the same person? Marvel does not provide one permanent answer, because later stories can change the conditions again. The Marvel Cinematic Universe creates Vision through a different combination. Ultron develops a vibranium synthetic body intended as an advanced vessel. The Mind Stone is part of that body. Tony Stark and Bruce Banner use the Jarvis intelligence in the effort to complete it, and Thor supplies the energy that brings Vision online. This screen Vision is therefore not based on the original Human Torch body or Wonder Man's brain patterns. His origin is assembled from elements already important to the MCU: Stark technology, Jarvis, Ultron, Vibranium, the Infinity Stones, and the Avengers' attempt to correct the disaster they helped create. The MCU Vision quickly demonstrates that he is not simply Ultron's new body. He lifts Thor's hammer, fights beside the Avengers, and develops his own calm moral perspective. In Captain America: Civil War, he tries to reason about the consequences of enhanced people acting without oversight, while his relationship with Wanda grows. By Avengers: Infinity War, the Mind Stone makes him a target. Vision is willing to have the stone destroyed even though the process may kill him, because he believes the larger danger matters more than his survival. Wanda's attempt to honor that choice becomes one of the film's most painful moments. WandaVision creates another major identity puzzle. Inside the Hex, Wanda's grief produces a vision with memories, personality, love, and agency within that reality. Outside the Hex, SWORD reconstructs the physical body as White Vision and sends it as a weapon. The two meet and discuss the ship of Theseus. If every piece of a ship is replaced and the original pieces are assembled elsewhere, which one is the real ship? The Hex Vision transfers memories to White Vision, but that act does not simply merge every aspect of their existence on screen. One has lived the Hex relationship, the other has the rebuilt body and restored information. This makes the comic and MCU versions easy to compare. Both are created during conflicts involving Ultron. Both reject the role intended for them and become Avengers. Both develop a relationship with Wanda. Both eventually appear in white bodies after being dismantled or reconstructed. But the comic foundation includes the Human Torch and Wonder Man elements, while the MCU foundation includes Jarvis, the Mind Stone, and Vibranium. The comics have decades of revisions, children, teams, and alternate versions. The MCU condenses selected themes into a connected film and television storyline. Vision matters because he makes identity impossible to reduce to one ingredient. Is he his body, his operating mind, his memories, his emotional history, his relationships, his moral choices, or the continuity connecting those things? The different versions answer differently, and even one version can change over time. That is what makes both the comic book vision and the MCU vision valuable versions of the same synthetic person idea. My question for viewers is, which origin do you prefer? The stranger comic book history or the more streamlined MCU combination of Jarvis, Vibranium, and the Mind Stone?